Hey guys, Stephen Cox here, and today we're going to learn Autumn Leaves on the U bass. If you like this arrangement, please subscribe below and become a patron at patreon.com/StephenCoxBass, and the first 20 patrons get to request an arrangement. Alright, so let's get started. So in the first measure of Autumn Leaves, we're going to start on the 5th fret of the D string, and we're going to use our pointer finger to play this on the fretting hand. Then we're going to play the 7th fret on the D string, then the 8th fret on the D string. Now we're going to go down to the G string. I'm going to go ahead and use my ring finger for this. You'll see why in a second. So this is going to be the 8th fret of the G string. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play these two chords. So that first chord is a C minor 7, and you're going to use your pointer finger on the 8th fret of the E string, your middle finger on the 8th fret of the D string, and your ring finger on the 8th fret of the G string. Now my plucking hand, I'm using my thumb to play the E string, my pointer finger to pluck the D string, and my middle finger to pluck the G string, all at the same time. Then the next chord is going to be an F7, and what we're going to do for the F7 is middle finger on the 8th fret of the A string, pointer finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and ring finger on the 8th fret of the G string. We use the same 3 fingers to pluck, this time the A, the D, and the G. So that first phrase sounds like this. Alright, let's do the next phrase. The next phrase is going to sound like this. So that phrase is going to be 3rd fret on the D string, 5th fret on the D string. We're going to slide up to the 7th fret on the D string. Now I'm using my ring finger again. You could also use your pinky for this one to play the 7th fret of the G string. Okay, so we've got. Now we're going to play the first of these chords, which is going to be a B flat major 7. You're going to use your pointer finger on the 6th fret of the E string, your middle finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the G string. We're going to use our thumb, our pointer finger, and our middle finger again, as with pretty much all of these chords. Okay? Then after that, we have an E flat major 7, and we're going to play the 6th fret on the A string, the 5th fret on the D string, and the 7th fret on the G string. And once again, you're going to be playing the A, D, and G over here. So let's do that one together from the little walk up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, and I also need to mention that the second of each set of chords is on an upbeat. So you can go like 3, and 4, and 3, and 4, and when you get to those. Okay, So now, if you're following along on the tab, we're at measure 5 at this point. We're going to go down to the 1st fret. So that's going to be 1st fret on the D string, 3rd fret on the D string, 5th fret on the D string. Then we're going to go to the 5th fret on the G string using our ring finger. It's important to use the ring here. Now we're going to play this chord. This is going to be an A minor 7 flat 5. So I add the flat 5 after we play the chord. So this will make sense in a minute, a little bit. So you're going to be playing the 5th fret with your pointer finger on the E string, 5th fret on the D string with your middle finger, and 5th fret on the G string with your ring finger. You're going to play that chord, then your pinky is going to come up while you're still holding that chord down. And this is a weird stretch, so sometimes you have to turn your wrist in to get it and make sure your thumb is low enough so that you can curve your hands enough to get it. But the pinky is going to come up and play the 6th fret on the A string. And then after that, we're going to play a D7 chord. And that's doing 5th fret on the A string with your middle finger, 4th fret on the D string with your pointer finger, and 5th fret on the G string with your ring finger. Okay, and same thing, we're plucking the A, the D, and the G strings over here with those 3 fingers. And now we've got, so it's going to be 7th fret on the D string, 5th fret on the G, 3rd fret on the G, and I'm saying G string, and then the 5th fret on the D string. So this next part, after we get to the 5th fret on the D string, we're going to move down to the 5th fret on the A string. Then we're going to move down to the 6th fret on the E string. Then we're going to do the 5th fret on the E string. And the 3rd fret on the E string. So those 2 phrases together sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay. So now that we're there, we honestly just repeat that whole entire section. So the first ending is exactly like the very beginning of the piece, which is why the repeat, if you're looking at the tabs, is after the first ending, and it goes back to the second measure. But if you look at that measure closely, it's the exact same as the beginning. I'm just doing that so that when you get down to the second ending, you know where to go. If that doesn't make any sense to you, it's probably because you're not looking at the tabs, so don't worry about it. Okay, so we repeat that whole thing again, but let's play it together since we already know it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So after you've done that whole thing twice, we have a different ending, and this is going into the B section of the song. The B section is going to be a little bit trickier because we're going to add a walking bass line to the rest of it. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up down below and subscribe for more. And you can also go to patreon.com/StephenCox to get the tab so that you can play along with this.